Yes, the FIFA World Cup, as I said earlier, 5 days away, and we are all anticipating the biggest, global football showpiece and what it has to offer. But let's start with the organizers, and the latest about the competition is that the Qatari royal family has ordered the organizers to move the beer stations away from the stadium, and that's because they feel concerned that it will unsettle local residents. Now remember that in September, organizers had finalized a policy to serve alcoholic beer to fans at stadiums and in fan zones, despite Qatar's strict alcoholic ban or laws, as it were. This definitely is coming at a time where Budweiser, which is FIFA's longtime sponsor and the exclusive beer for FIFA, is having tensions with FIFA, as the alcoholic brand was informed about the changes on Saturday. And more importantly, there are now disputes concerning sales points as well as how to get supplies into Qatar. Remember, Qatar as a nation has very stringent alcoholic laws, and Budweiser, that's the alcoholic brand and longtime sponsor of FIFA, is having issues even getting the supplies into the country as well as having it at sales points. And for Budweiser, it's quite understandable because they pay FIFA $75 million every 4 years just to have a World Cup presence. So you can understand if the brand is feeling a bit shortchanged at this time, especially since the changes to that policy is coming just about a week into the competition itself. While still talking about the FIFA World Cup, let's turn our attention now to various squads. Remember, various teams have already named their World Cup list, and players are already arriving at Qatar. Ronaldo has been in the news over the last 2 days, and the reason for that is because of that explosive interview he had with Piers Morgan, which will be aired today and tomorrow. But the latest about that is that Ronaldo had a frosty exchange with Bruno Fernandes, his Manchester United teammate, as well as his Portuguese teammate, when both of them linked up in the Portuguese camp for the World Cup tournament. And there you can have it on the screen with several reactions to it, but you have just two there, where Dave Kopp said Ronaldo seems to be genuinely bemused, while Bruno Fernandes might be a bit frosty with him. And you can also see that on Ronaldo's face there's a bit of shock. Both players shook hands quite all right, but you could easily tell that there were a bit of there was a bit of emotional disconnect in that regard. Do not forget that Ronaldo said several things, took a swipe at the owners of the club, and you can see right there on your screen Bruno Fernandes couldn't even look at Ronaldo in the face, which is quite shocking. I'm sure quite well that it's not only Bruno Fernandes, so many Manchester United teammates will feel that they've been thrown under the bus by Cristiano Ronaldo as a result of that interview. Yes, he didn't take a direct swipe at the players, but he did, concerning how he said he felt betrayed by the club and he didn't have the right support, among other things. Let me just run you through quickly the various, instances or dates that seemed to lead to this point where we're in. Remember, January 2nd, Cristiano Ronaldo was meant to leave Manchester United. It was the media was awash with reports that Ronaldo would leave United on the 2nd of July, and there were talks that several clubs were in the running for his signature, including Atletico Madrid, rivals of Real Madrid, where he played for 9 seasons and scored 450 goals. You also have, just 2 days afterwards, July 4th, there was a preseason training at Carrington Road, Carrington Complex, which is Manchester United's training ground, and Ronaldo did not, turn up or show up for that training session. That also stoked more, speculations about his future at the club. The following day, which was July 5th, it was still unclear if Ronaldo would join the team on the tour of Thailand and Australia, which was scheduled for July 8th in terms of departure, talking about the pre-season tour and training. So by July 7th, 2 days after, you had the club confirming that Ronaldo will not be joining up with the team for the tour at Australia and Thailand as a result of family issues. Now, these family issues, we eventually learned, has to do with his daughter, Bella, who was hospitalized for bronchitis just 3 months after her twin brother died. Remember, Ronaldo lost his son, earlier this year. So in July, you had Bella, his daughter, hospitalized for bronchitis 3 months after a twin brother died. Now, this is also one of the things Ronaldo talked about in that interview, where he said he felt betrayed. He didn't get the needed support, from the family. They thought he was lying when he said he had family issues to attend to, among others. So this breakdown in relationship definitely didn't start now. It's something that is an accumulation of several instances over the last few months. It will be interesting to see how this pans out. Will Ronaldo leave during the winter transfer window? Definitely, it's difficult to see him play for Erik ten Hag again after stating publicly that he does not have a single iota of respect for his coach. Well, the big question will be, which club can afford his wages? Remember, he's being paid £500,000 a week at Manchester United. Now, for the Golden State Warriors, they were in action this morning against the San Antonio Spurs, and that was an impressive win, a blowout win, in fact, for the Warriors, 132 to 95 points. That ended against the San Antonio Spurs, as Jordan Poole top scored for the Warriors, scoring 36 points in that game, which definitely showed the qualities he has. You also had Steph Curry, the talisman of the franchise, scoring 16 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists in the game. Andrew Wiggins had 10 points, to go, as well as Anthony Lamb with 17 points and Jonathan Kuminga with 15 points. For the Golden State Warriors, it was quite an impressive win, it must be said. For San Antonio Spurs, you had Kellyan Johnson scoring 15 points for them. It was a game wherein the regulars didn't turn up in terms of double digits for scoring, and that explains the blowout loss, as the Warriors ran out with 37 points margin in terms of the result. Now, for the Golden State Warriors, they'll be taking on the Phoenix Suns on Wednesday, and the win over the Spurs takes their record to their title defense at 6 wins and 8 losses to the start of the season. For the San Antonio Spurs, there are also 6 wins and 8 losses to the start of the season, and they will be taking on the Portland Trail Blazers on Tuesday. That should be an entertaining match, talking about the Blazers against the Spurs later on tonight. Well, let's turn our attention now to the Phoenix Suns. Yes, the Suns were also in action, and that was a game, the Bucks rather. Let's start with the Bucks, talking about Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, the Bucks were in action as well, and it was a shock loss, a match where we had Giannis Antetokounmpo make a return. Remember, Giannis Antetokounmpo missed the last 2 games for the Bucks due to a left strain sore knee, and he also missed 3 of the last 4 games, but his return could only contribute 27 points in terms of scoring, as the Bucks lost 106 to 121 points against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, for the Bucks, they missed quite a handful of players. Jrue Holiday missed his 3rd successive game due to a right ankle sprain. You also had Chris Middleton missing in action as a result of a wrist surgery. Do not forget that Pat Connaughton as well is dealing with a right calf strain, and as a result, it was an on-demand Bucks team. But for the Milwaukee Bucks, as I said earlier, Giannis in his return still scored 27 points, but it wasn't to be for them. You had Majon Beauchamp also scoring 20 points to try get them through the finish line. Talking about the Atlanta Hawks, you had DeAndre Hunter inspiring the team with 24 points, while Trae Young had 21 points and 9 assists to go with the Hunter's contributions. Clint Capella had 19 points and 10 rebounds. DeJounte Murray also had 19 points, not forgetting John Collins, who scored 16 points and had 9 rebounds as well in the game. For the Atlanta Hawks, they also had quite a handful of players missing, but the most conspicuous of them had to be Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is yet to play this season as a result of a knee injury. But that has not stopped the Hawks from having a very good start to the season. There are 9 wins and 5 losses to the start of the season. Meanwhile, for the Milwaukee Bucks, there are 10 wins and 3 losses to the start of the season. Quite an impressive record, although over the last 4 games, it's a bit worrisome because they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, having started the season with a perfect score of 9 wins from as many matches. For the next matches, you have the Bucks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday. morning, and that's a match you should watch out for. It will definitely be a high-scoring affair. You also have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Boston Celtics on Wednesday as well. That's another match that you quite, believe should deliver the goods in terms of a high-scoring game. Well, still talking basketball, let's turn our attention now to the Phoenix Suns. The Suns were in action against Miami Heat, and that was a match that had everything on the line. Jimmy Butler putting up the stops, to prevent Booker from getting the win for the Suns. It ended 112 to 113 points, a victory for the Heat. For the Suns, it was definitely a match they would reel their chances. They had opportunities. That was the block. That's the block right there on your screen. With just 2 seconds to go, Jimmy Butler pulling the stops on Devin Booker. Booker had another bite at the cherry from that, loose ball, the rebound, but it still couldn't go in from the three-point range as the Miami Heat were able to hold on. Bam Adebayo of Nigerian origin, definitely top scored for the Miami Heat with 30 points. You had Jimmy Butler with 16 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, and major blocks, talking about the final one that was decisive in getting them the win. Caleb Martin as well as Kyle Lowry had 15 points as well. And this was a match that Tyler Hero missed his fourth successive match due to injury. For the Phoenix Suns, you had Devin Booker scoring 25 points, but the decisive shot couldn't go in, talking about the buzzer beater three-pointer which he missed. It did hit the rim. You also had Dwayne Washington Jr. with 21 points. DeAndre Ayton as well with 16 points and 12 rebounds for the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul missed this one as a result of a right heel soreness. And as a result, the Warriors, or the Suns rather, lost. So the Suns are 8 wins and 5 losses to the start of the season, while for the Miami Heat, they're even at 7 wins and 7 losses to the start of the season. The Miami Heat next takes on the Toronto Raptors on Wednesday, while for the Phoenix Suns, they'll be taking on the defending champions of the NBA, the Golden State Warriors.